The debate we are having today in this House could not be more timely. Let's face it, taken together, the geopolitical challenges Europe is facing sometimes seems daunting. Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine, the international rules-based order being undermined, core alliances being questioned. But the European Union will come out of this stronger, more resilient and more sovereign. For this to happen, our response must have three components: a Europe of principles, a Europe of protection, and a Europe of prosperity. All these three dimensions are being tested in the current moment of transatlantic relations. That is the reason why I decided to convene a meeting of the European leaders for tomorrow about transatlantic relations. Having listened to member states in the run-up to this meeting, I believe a few fundamental elements are broadly shared. First, we are united around the principles of international law, territorial integrity, and national sovereignty. Second, we are united in full support and solidarity with the Kingdom of Denmark and with Greenland. Only they, Denmark and Greenland, can decide on their future. Third, we recognize that there is a shared transatlantic interest in peace and security in the Arctic, notably working through NATO. Fourth, further tariffs would undermine transatlantic relations and are incompatible with the EU-US agreement. Fifth, we stand ready to defend ourselves, our member states, our citizens, our companies against any form of coercion. And the European Union has the power and the tools to do so. Sixth, we want to continue engaging constructively with the United States, of course, on all issues of common interest, and there are many, since we are partners and allies and share a transatlantic community. I believe these are the principles that should guide the discussions between our leaders tomorrow and our actions going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, the first way to Europe to become stronger and more sovereign is to remain a firm champion of the international rules-based order, international law and multilateralism. We will always uphold the principles enshrined in the United Nations Charter and defend human dignity and individual freedoms. We cannot accept that the law of the strongest prevails over the rights of the weakest, because international rules are not optional. An alliance cannot just boil down to a sequence of transitions.
The president obviously believes that national security is economic security is national security, and we're not putting a 10% tariff on Greenland. We're putting a 10% tariff on the 8 countries that chose to send troops to Greenland. I mean, for those countries to activate their troops, I'm not sure what signal that's supposed to send. It seems pretty quixotic to me. President Trump has made it clear that we will not outsource our national security or our hemispheric security to any other countries. Our partner, the UK, is letting us down with the base on Diego Garcia, which we had shared together for many, many years, and they want to turn it over to Mauritius. So President Trump is serious here. Just as I said, after Liberation Day last year, I would tell everyone, take a deep breath, do not have this reflexive anger that we've seen and the bitterness. Why don't they sit down, wait for President Trump to get here and listen to his argument? Because I think they're going to be persuaded. And I can tell my message to Governor Newsom is the Trump administration is coming to California. We are going to crack down on waste, fraud, and abuse. And I was told he was asked to give a speech on his signature policies, but he's not speaking. Because what have his economic policies brought? Outward migration from California, a gigantic budget deficit, the largest homeless population in America, and the poor folks in the Palisades who had their homes burned down. He is here hobnobbing with the global elite while his California citizens are still homeless. Shame on him. He is too smug, too self-absorbed, and too economically illiterate to know anything. Denmark's investment in U.S. Treasury bonds, like Denmark itself, is irrelevant. That it's less than $100 million. They've been selling treasuries for years. I'm not concerned at all. Again, as Treasury Secretary, I see our Treasury auctions. We've had record foreign investment. And also, as I said yesterday, I think it is very difficult to disaggregate any of the noise around Greenland, around these inflammatory statements by President Macron, by President van der Leyen, from what we have seen in the Japanese bond markets. We saw a 6 standard deviation move in Japanese bonds, which has spilled over to other markets. And I've been in touch with my Japanese economic colleagues, and I am assured that they will take measures to stabilize that market. And just so everyone knows, that this notion that Europeans would be selling U.S. assets came from a single analyst at Deutsche Bank. Of course, the fake news media, led by the Financial Times, amplified it, and the CEO of Deutsche Bank called to say that Deutsche Bank does not stand by that analyst report.